Hey everybody, welcome to week 5. We're really moving, really moving through this term. We only have a couple weeks left, weeks 5, 6, 7, and then there's that half week. We're going to get to that in a little soon enough, but there's that half week at the end of 7 that we're going to do as well. So we don't have that much time left. We're moving really quickly. Now, as far as Microsoft Office goes, we've gone through a couple of programs so far. We've gone through Outlook. We've gone through Word. We're not done with Word yet. We're still going to be using Word. And now we're going to start learning about Excel. So what is Excel? Well, if Word is a program you use for word processing, for writing papers, all the APA stuff we talked about last week, but also for doing all sorts of other things. You can put together resumes, you can put together announcements, you can put together cover letters, you can write all sorts of different kinds of things, and you can do some really elaborate stuff in Word. If that's what you can do in Word, Excel is where you're going to be using spreadsheets. You're going to be organizing, collecting, organizing, interpreting, and presenting data. Lots of information. Many of you probably have used Excel before. Some of you may have never used it before. This might be brand new, virgin territory for you. So we're going to be learning about what a spreadsheet is and what a spreadsheet can do for us. And again, let me just tell you, it seems really daunting at first. It really isn't. You just need to kind of get your feet wet, if you will, with Excel. You're going to be learning about organizing and collecting data in a spreadsheet, and there's wonderful things you can do with it. You can add stuff, you can find averages, you can organize things alphabetically. This is if you have tons and tons of data. Let's say you're doing patient chart stuff at your doctor's office, and you have hundreds and hundreds of patients, and you need to present them in some sort of graphic fashion, like in a chart or a graph, for your doctors to let them know, what kinds of patients you're seeing or something. And you have everything organized in a big spreadsheet. Everything is alphabetical, and then you have the diagnosis for each patient, and then you can graph that information very easily in Excel. So you take a massive, monumental amount of information and you present it in a way that's very easy to understand. Some sort of chart, some sort of graph, something like that. That's what we're going to be learning about in Microsoft Excel. And frankly, it's pretty easy. You just need to, like I said, get your feet wet here. So that's what this week is going to be about, is Microsoft Excel. We're going to be using some Excel the week following as well. But this is the week where we get started with it. Now, when it comes to assignments this week, there are the lectures, and always make sure you're following the lectures. Make sure you're going through all the exercises, all the walkthroughs in the lecture. So there's a lecture on Excel. There's also going to be the discussion board that's going to be heavy on Excel, but there's a couple of assignments that don't seem to correspond as well to Excel. Now, they kind of do, broadly speaking, but they aren't within Excel, and that is the graphic literacy assessment, the ACT assessment, the graphic literacy ACT assessment, and the reflection. What is this? Okay, well, the ACT assessment is this test or series of tests that you're going to be taking throughout a bunch of courses here at Bryant Stratton that gives you this ACT certificate at the end. This is a career readiness certificate. This is one of those things that you can then present to employers and say, these are the skills I've learned here at Bryant Stratton, and I've learned them to such an extent that I have this certificate that shows that I know how to write effectively and communicate effectively, that I know something about information literacy, that I am comfortable and well versed in certain things in mathematics, et cetera, et cetera. There's, I think, 5 or 6 steps or areas in this this overall ACT certification. In this class, we're doing the information literacy assessment. This is really an information literacy class. I am technically an information literacy professor. Information literacy is about finding data, collecting data, and being able to interpret it. Information, stuff from online, stuff from charts and graphs that you see in a book or in a textbook or on a poster somewhere in a doctor's office, doesn't really matter. So what this test is going to be doing is testing your information literacy skills. Largely, it's skills related to interpreting information in charts and graphs, hence graphic literacy. Okay, information literacy, graphic literacy. So this test is 38 questions. It is hard. It is very hard. Now, don't worry about that. Why? Because it's a two-part thing. The thing that really matters is after you take the test, you actually do the reflection. That's the part that really is most important for your grade. So if you take this test and you look at it and say, oh my gosh, I got a 22 or I got a 58 or I got a 73, that's just not like me. Don't worry about that. That's not going to have an overall impact on your grade. okay? You still have to take the test in order to get the certification though. So you need to take the test, but don't worry, don't fret. If you get a low grade, it's not going to affect your grade in this class. Now, the reflection will. So you want to make sure that you do the reflection, okay? Make sure you do the reflection. You do that, you're going to be fine, okay? And I've been trying to give you all lots of notes on your reflections up to this point, so just keep those notes in mind as you write your reflection for this week. So that's what we're going to be doing. There's going to be the graphic literacy assessment test. There's going to be the associated reflection, and then you're going to have the discussion board. The discussion board has another scenario. This one is about collecting information for basically kids' programs and activities, extracurricular activities, that kind of thing, and how would you chart these things in Excel. Okay, I want you to do that. You know, it may seem kind of like it's a little dry or something. I am going to post another thread that is part of information literacy, but really has nothing to do with Excel and is going to be a lot more fun, a lot more exciting. So look at that thread as well and feel free to participate in that thread. Any post you make in that other thread that I post, they're going to count for your overall post count for the week. Okay, so you can do this Excel post, and you can, and I want you to do that. Develop this initial post. But if you make 3 replies in the other post, the one that I have that's kind of more of an information literacy related one, those will count for your overall post count. So just keep that in mind. Any questions, as always, folks, let me know. Thanks.